days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
It seemed like everybody was hitting it out of the park. There was a speech by, was it LaFonza? What the hell? Hold on, let me get this. LaFonza Butler. And she talked about, the common things that she and Kamala Harris have. And she mentioned, I went to an HBCU. I think she went to Jackson State. And Kamala Harris went to an HBCU. And she was, I did this. I was a lawyer. She was, and she was breaking it down. And Megyn Kelly, Megyn Kelly tweeted LaFonza Butler speaking. She filled Feinstein's seat, celebrating that she and Harris both graduated from historically Black colleges. Imagine the white person up there. I'm proud to tell you I went to a mostly white university. And I was like, in that moment, Megyn Kelly, Mrs. History of this country. The thing that Jasmine Crockett was talking about, Megyn Kelly could never understand the tears behind it and the stress and the frustration of having to be in these spaces with people who don't see you as human, valuable, smart, any of the things, but you are all of that and you're not placating to it. You have to show up, but it takes a toll. And for Kamala Harris, I can't even imagine what she goes through.
Yeah, and like it's these folks, the thing that I say a lot is these folks lack empathy. Right. And I don't mean the kind of empathy like the golden rule, like do unto others as you would have. I mean, like really thinking about what it's like to be somebody else. I remember there was this time when this woman that I worked with who was really attractive, conventionally attractive. And I saw her, we were walking outside of the building and she almost stopped traffic. Right. People were yelling and screaming and doing all this stuff. And I turned to her and I was like, you got some fans. And she completely shut it off so much. And in that moment, I understood what it was like to be that woman for just a small second and have to deal with that for a long time. And like, that's what you have to do, is like to recognize that people have a different experience than you. And Megyn Kelly and the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Trumps of the world, they don't understand that there are other people out there that have a different experience than them. They just don't get it. They have no empathy for their humanity.
Or curiosity, which means intellectually they're dull, obtuse. They're not very smart, because smart people are curious. Like, oh, let me see. So Michael Harriot, our brother, Black AF history, author of bestselling, great brother. He tweeted their alma maters were founded because white people, he put in all caps, made integrated schools illegal. There were several people that showed their rejection letters from colleges. And the reason was, we don't accept your race here. Like they put that in writing. My father couldn't get into Seton Hall because they didn't accept Black people in the early 1960s, early 1950s, early 1940s, 30s, 20s. Okay. Absolutely. Seton Hall University, right down the street from where he grew up. He couldn't go to school, so he went to South Carolina, Allen University. But Michael Harriot said white people made they made it illegal to integrate. Still, white people are allowed to attend Butler and Harris's alma mater, which, there are white people at Morehouse pledging. Okay. Yeah. I saw them with my own eyes.
My wife considered going to an HBCU.
See, and because they don't discriminate, and they were mostly named for white people, but they couldn't, these people could not go to white colleges. So she said, so maybe they'd rather attend a law school where their parents just happen to be employed like you did. This is what Michael Harriot said to Megyn Kelly. Victoria Brownworth, who's one of my favorite journalists on Twitter. I just reached out to her. Bless her. She's beautiful, beautiful soul. She said to Megyn, you haven't learned anything since you were fired from NBC for racist comments, have you? Ma'am. This is a white lady, by the way. Ma'am, white people were never denied entrance to colleges because of their race. That's why HBCUs have to exist in the first place. Also, because of people like you.
I wish I had gone to an HBCU. mostly because I don't think people like, it's hard to get white people to understand. You get white people who understand this. You do find white people who understand this, but it's hard for them as a collective, as a whole, to understand what it's like not to be a Black person, right? Like, they don't have to think about race on a regular basis. And we do, right? Regardless of where we live and what we do, we walk into a room and we are the diversity in that room most of the time. And they don't know what it's like to check that at the door. And if you go to an HBCU, if you are a Black Republican, you are no longer a Black Republican. You're just an asshole, right? You no longer have to have that Black in front of your name. And I think people miss that. They don't understand what that's like.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.